Hi guys, welcome back to Finpact. Today we are here looking at NIO stock. I covered NIO ages ago and it's not been looking pretty for NIO. They have been down like almost 38%. In fact, this year they've shown loss after loss after their highs of $40 and now they're trading at around $20 region. But it's not been great for a lot of the stocks. 2022 has not been the best time for investors. But does that mean NIO is a buy or not? Well, there's a few things in its favor, but as of recently, they have actually fallen behind their competitors. It's currently at third place, and in terms of absolute number of electric vehicles delivered, NIO might soon fall into fourth place. You know, after other Chinese automobile makers such as Xpeng, Li Auto, people are actually overlooking the risks for NIO. Many are bullish and believe that it still has a long way to grow, but a lot of people have become skeptical. So let's go into what's been happening with NIO stock. Is it still a good investment like I always said it was? Where are the price targets? And is there a better EV stock out there that you could invest in as well? Now last year there was falls in the number of deliveries that NIO was making. There was also delays, but they showed a recovery in the number of deliveries they made at the end of the last year. And then this is, of course, when the price was hitting $40. And then we saw a massive sell-off. But this sell-off was not only in NIO stock. In fact, lots of stocks that had very high multiples that were overvalued were having major sell-offs. And that sell-off has not stopped. So currently the price is still falling. And there are further risks that are taking place with NIO. For example, Chinese automaker Didi, I made a video on them actually, they had to get delisted from the American Stock Exchange based on government regulation from China. Well, the same worry is taking place and people believe NIO might get delisted from the American Stock Exchange, and that could majorly impact the price. Now, it's not to say that this will necessarily happen, but Beijing set precedent by having Didi delisted. And this could happen again, so there is that risk as well. Anyway, let's jump into more of what's happening after we take a look at where the price is currently sitting for NIO stock. So the current price is $24.28. The analyst rating consensus is still a strong buy, with 8 saying it's a buy, 1 a hold. And also the analyst price target is $59.46. This, by the way, you guys, is 145.09% upside based on 9 Wall Street analysts offering a 12-month price target. So this is for the 12-month time frame. Now, this is great. This is reassuring when you see analysts giving such price targets. This is not your run-of-the-mill price prediction. This is analysts that have gone through financials, conducted models, come up with the ratios that will give a price target. But even though analysts do this, it should always be taken with a pinch of salt, because one of the things I've strongly believed is that no stock can be given a price target just based on financials. Let's be honest, we know that market hype, market sentiment plays a big part. And like Palantir, a lot of these communities on Reddit and online, they talk about NIO stock. So one of the reasons it's been trading at very high multiples has also been because of the volume of support they've gotten online. And, you know, EV stocks have been a buzzword in 2021. Everyone wants to invest in the next Tesla. And, you know, China is very strong in the EV market with their manufacturing being top tier, rivaling Tesla. However, nevertheless, if you take a look at the analysts, they come from top tier banks. I mean, we have Bank of America, HSBC, Macquarie, Morgan Stanley, Deutsche Bank, Citigroup. So many different analysts are still saying it's a buy. In fact, Citigroup has given it an $87 price target, which is a 266.47% upside, which in stock terms is very high. We're not going to get 100x in stocks. Generally not. Almost never. It's not crypto, but the crypto market has crashed. So this is when you look towards the stock market, which generally provides, you know, more safer investments. I mean, safer compared to crypto, because you know the upswings and downswings in crypto are just absolutely crazy. You can lose your investment to like go down to a seventh of what you had invested. I mean, for example, with NIO, it hit a $20 price target, and someone who bought at the high at $40 would have lost half of their investment. But my point is, this is just the nature of the markets. But these sort of price targets for stock standards, very good, you guys. So it seems analysts are still bullish. But let's cover the negative news, let's cover the positive news, and then decide where we think it's going. Now, in negative news, NIO, although it was very hyped, Li Auto and Xpeng outsold NIO in 2021 by a substantial amount. In December 2021, Xpeng sold 16,000 electric vehicles. Li Auto sold 14,100 electric vehicles. Whereas NIO, as you can see on this graph, delivered 10,468 electric vehicles. But now they're saying that NETA is going to overtake NIO in terms of monthly deliveries. They're slowly catching up. In fact, NETA more than quintupled its monthly deliveries, starting around the beginning of 2021 at around 2,000 electric vehicle deliveries a month to almost 10K, which is kind of where we're at. So it might overtake NIO, which means NIO might fall to being fourth place amongst its competitors when it comes to the number of deliveries made. But then again, if you look at what they offer, NIO does tend to offer more premium electric vehicles. I mean, just take a look at their website. So NIO was founded in 2014 and they offer 3 premium electric SUVs, ES8, ES6 and EC6, which are sort of priced at around $50,000. They also offer battery as a service, which basically allows customers to subscribe for car batteries rather than paying for them upfront. And yes, they've scaled up their production, but it hasn't come without challenges. And it's kind of recorded about 5,000 vehicles last year after reports of multiple fires. Li Auto, on the other hand, you guys, sells extended range electric vehicles, which are essentially electric vehicles that have smaller gasoline engines that can generate additional sort of electric power from the battery. It reduces the need for the EV charging that we know is quite an issue for longer ranges. So that's what they are focused on within the EV niche. And Xpeng also, similar to NIO, produces and sells premium electric vehicles, including their G3 SUV, as you can see here. They also sell the P7 four-door sedan, which is sort of roughly positioned to rival Tesla's, I think it's the Model Y SUV. And I would say Xpeng is definitely similar to NIO in that they produce these sort of premium models and makes. And also just to note, the G3 SUV was one of the top 3 electric SUVs in terms of sales in China in 2019. But later on, more competitors came into play, NIO for example. Anyway, the good news is that usually when we see market dips in fundamentally good stocks, that's when we tend to see recovery. And usually this is a time to accumulate. I've always taught this. This applies both to cryptos and stocks. But when you see market crashes, that is the time to buy. And when you see all-time highs, you should sell because the market will crash. I mean, it's hard to predict when, but this is how I see it. This is the way I've always done it. So after the pandemic, prices were dirt cheap for a lot of stocks as well as cryptos. Cryptos were so cheap. And then I bought in around October, November, I started accumulating. Then we saw the first all-time high rallies up. I sold a lot of what I held and I talked about it on this channel, similar to stock holdings. And then when the market crashed to really low levels, sort of like where we're at now, that's when I accumulated again. And that was the portfolio I was willing to hold for the long term if I didn't see profits again. But we did see swings up both in tech stocks and in the stock market as well as in cryptos. And that's when I sold at the top again. But it was just before, because you never know when the top is going to crash. I mean, it's never going to keep going up parabolically. I mean, it can for a day if it's one of those 100x crypto coins, but it's not always going to be the case. So it's important to have a strategy, and that's usually mine. And I talk about it on this channel. I also talk about it on my Patreon. So definitely check that out. It's linked in the description box if you want to join my Patreon. They find out what I buy and sell on there before anyone else. And yeah, let's get back into NIO. Bullish news, NIO has marked 800 plus battery swapping stations in China. So this is one of their niches that they are expanding their network of their battery exchange stations. And this is happening at great speed. And they've also opened their first battery swap outlet in Europe. Now, importantly, their Q4 2021 results are actually being reported on March 7, 2022. If they beat expectations, it's likely we will see a recovery in stock price. If they do not beat expectations, we will see a fall in the stock price. Usually there's a lot of trading going on before the earnings day. But let's just look at what the outlook looks like and then accordingly make a decision whether to buy or sell. So NIO expects vehicle deliveries for Q4 to be between 23,500 and 25,500, which would represent a year-over-year increase of around 35.4% to 46.9%. They expect their revenue to rise between 41.2% and 52.2% compared to the fourth quarter of the year ended 2020. Now, if they meet this, it is likely we will see a lot of bullish momentum for this stock, if not further sell-offs. And it will also depend on how the rest of the market is doing, both in tech stocks, EV stocks. Even high multiple stocks showed declines. In fact, it wasn't just NIO that showed 38% decline. Xpeng, Li Auto, they showed around the 30 to 35% falls in stock price. So just bear that in mind. And I personally think have a diversified portfolio. Hold a few of all of the stocks. And if you're holding for the long term, then don't even stress about the trading and the earnings. Just believe in the fundamentals of the company and the story and what they're trying to achieve, and accordingly buy. Buy the story of the company and the team that backs it, rather than the short-term fluctuations based on market sentiment. But if you do know you're reaching all-time highs, try to sell then. And if you see the price fall on a fundamentally good stock, then buy. Anyway, guys, I've taught this a lot on my channel. I'll keep reiterating it, and maybe that is sort of like positive reinforcement for you guys to hear. Also, remember, this is just my strategy. It's not financial advice. Make sure you do your own research. I'm not a financial advisor. I used to work in finance. I just love finance and stocks and markets, so that's why I talk about it. Anyway, guys, I will see you in the next video, but before you go, don't forget to hit that like button and the subscribe button and that bell notification, so that you get informed on when I release a video. I release videos on cryptos and the stock market. I'll see you guys in the next. Bye.